Was it servant or servants?
Servant, I heard.
Well, I heard servant. So
to be passed on.
To be passed on. And I don't know whether that servant was passing it to other servants. There could be a server, you know, serving the interests of a particular
Let's listen to Cocky. Lennox Cocky Honorary.
What I know about this is, some time back, the minister who was responsible, that Mr. Vince Henderson,
so this morning,
had asked the Labour Commissioner to give me some farm workers when I apply for farm workers.
I have carrots.
Not like a visa for the farm workers.
I have some
which he asked him to give me 25 farm workers. I applied for the farm workers and I never get it. All he did, he gave me about 7 and he didn't give me the rest.
So this is
afterwards, the Prime Minister said, can you please give him some farm workers? He called the Labour Commissioner and asked him to give me some more farm workers. The Labour Commissioner said that I need to have a license to bring in farm workers in this country. He prepared the license for me. He asked me to sign it and endorsed by Mr. Menz at his ministry.
So this is what breakfast is.
And then he said that he needs to visit my farm. We should take Mr. Packard in his ministry and they come and visit my farm. Imagine when we went on 3 different holdings, I tell him there is more holdings. He said 150 is enough. At the same time, they went back. And Mr. LeBlanc never gives me 25 farm workers. He never. And if Mr. LeBlanc is saying no, that I saw with him, and I'm not speaking to him, I know my reason why I'm not speaking to him, because there's one person who does another Haitian lady gave me passport to can bring for the person, the civil servant, to bring for Mr. LeBlanc, and money under the table, and he receive it and issue the visa every week. So tell Mr. LeBlanc, don't tackle me, because there's plenty more. I'm not talking about, I call the Hamas, I will not go further, because I will not show my trump card. I hold in my trump card for any other further investigation. I have my trump card to throw when for me to be able to Trump. Thank you, back.
But hold on, Miss, I know you want to go, but let me just clarify what you just said. You said that you have given some Haitian lady monies for Mr. LeBlanc. Now, how much money are we talking about?
I say that a Haitian lady had wanted some visa.
A Haitian lady wanted some visa.
I talked to a certain civil servant, and
he
the
spoke
person
to
told me that
a
he and
civil
Mr.
servant.
LeBlanc was good friends. He can talk to Mr. LeBlanc.
Okay.
Mr. LeBlanc tell him, no problem, bring the visa. The visa passed through my hand, the passport and the document passed through my hand, straight to the civil servant, and then to Mr. LeBlanc. And every week, that woman was receiving visas, about 15 to 20 visas every week.
Bam, that's how it's done.
But you don't know how much money was paid for those visas?
I know how much money, Mac, but I will not say. I live in that further.
Okay, so you're keeping your trump card?
I keep in my trump card.
What's really going on in the brain? Tell me.
You notice that there's a game of poker, and we can make a little projection. Let us say, for instance, one passport would probably go for about 15,000 US. Assumptions are being made here.
Let's be more conservative. Let's say 1,500 US.
1,500. No, man, you're not talking money. For a passport,
it's really time.
1,500 US. You're not talking
for the passport, for the visa.
1,500.
That's the numbers I'm hearing.
Right.
But what about 15? So let's just say, as Mr. Cocky was suggesting, that we had 15 passports every week at 1,500 US. That's a lot of bucks.
That's a lot of money, Matt.
That's a lot of bucks.
That's a lot of money.
15 passports, 15 visas.
Every week?
Every week. You just said Cocky.
That is money extravagant. You can build a house right away. You can pay for your transport right away. You can wipe out a debt in no time at all. And I know I'm speaking to a number of civil servants, and some of them may be listening. They're saying, man, after you retire, spending 38 years to get 100,000 EC.
Just like that.
100,000 EC for working for 48 years. And a man is making that money
in a week.
In a week, man. Don't you see how the civil servants are going to be fumigating up there, Matthias? Boy, that will be interesting for later. We can't go on to long matters because we have some more functions.
We have a few more minutes here. We have a few more minutes. But I mean, it's a civil servant.
When a government is corrupt.
A civil servant.
Collecting monies
under the
backs
of the other civil servants.
And government is only receiving 200 EC out of that?
Out of that, and the National Treasury is asking for money. Social Security is asking for money. Don't you understand where we're heading? Martha spelled it. That's why I tell you, not heads will have to roll. And wherever the box stop, brother, let it stop. The brain is not going to sit by and see the things happening on my island. That's why I've remained on the island, you know. I never went to the United States or England. I want to live comfortable on the island, Matt.
But some civil servants are living comfortably.
More than comfortable.
Let's take a phone call. Hello.
Matt, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Matt, the police should now visit Mr. Corky, start the investigation from there. I mean, how can they not have an investigation?
But the investigations may have to start at the top. It just cocky. I mean,
Dominica has become a
to tell you the truth here, what is it? Let's talk about that. What is the Corky actually done wrong?
Well, Matt, forget about Corky.
Well, you said the police has to go to Corky. So I'm saying, if Corky is an agent on the outside, fine for Corky. But we're talking about civil servants within the ministry, you know, benefiting from the proceeds of Haitian passports, Haitian visas, taking $1,500 US, giving the government $200. Nothing's gone wrong. Why are you not saying go investigate the civil servants you think that may be benefiting?
Matt, why is the rest of the media have not said anything about this?
Well, that's not for me, Matt Fair, to determine. You have to ask DBS, you have to ask Marpin, you have to ask SAT Telecoms, DG Play, if you want to call it that way, and all the other news agencies that have, you know, chosen not to speak about this. I can't answer for them. Hello. I'm only Matt Peltier, Matt in the morning, the hot seat. Hello.
Hey, Mr. Peltier, blessings, sir.
Yes.
The brain, blessings to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Brain, Matt, I think it's something that gone out of control. Matt, it was a little clique that benefited for a long time. But when you have...
Well, the Prime Minister said it was organized. I mean, racketeering is organized crime.
Okay, well, that's okay, very interesting. But what I'm saying, Matt, it have left the clique. It have left a little body, a family, a fraternity, Matt. And it went into the hands of, when you hear, Matt, I hear a guy's name in the racketeering. And I'm saying, but what that man has to do with selling passports or accessing passports for Haitians? So I think the whole thing gets out of control. Too many people that were not intended to benefit, begin to benefit, Matt. And that is where they're asking a brother that is being implicated by Corky. That is the commissioner, Matt, to investigate and fix it, Matt, that's the word fix? And fix it. So when we think, well, government was only getting a very little, but it seems like ministers of government, Matt, privately benefiting big time. So that investigation, Matt, I hear Claude Wicks on DBS this morning talking about a robbery, armed robbery, and they beat the guy and talk about a girl that disappeared, teenager, some young girl, but Matt, I have heard nothing, and I'm telling you, nothing will be done because who have to instruct the investigation to go ahead, Matt? Is the judge, jury, and executioner. They know everything, and they are benefiting big time, but now the thing gets out of order. They are coming and say, investigate and fix it, not to give it to the police or the CID or whatever, Matt, and say, yo, we need to address that matter. So I think it's just something that go out of control. Too many ordinary people are benefiting right now.
All right, caller, thank you very much. But something has to be done. Brain, we haven't heard the government ministers, the Prime Minister, or the Labour Minister comment on this one.
Oh, they have to make a statement. Because here it is that you're giving a man who is implicated. Corky has implicated Mr. LeBlanc by what he said. So how can a man who is implicated do an investigation? That is this report that Mr. LeBlanc has written in research, it is null and void. You cannot.
You say it's null and void?
Null and void because he's involved, from what we're hearing. So how can a man who is involved in some activity be asked to write a report?
Who's guarding the guard?
So who's guarding the guard? That report, if I was the Prime Minister, I am not going to read that report. I'm going to call another investigator. Independent, away, maybe somebody away from the island, to come and do that investigation. Because here, Mr. Libla's name has been called by Mr. Honore Cocky.
We're taking the phone call.
Hey, Matt, good morning to you on the brain.
Yes.
Matt, do you see, can you understand now why some of these government officials will be hell-bent on keeping this administration in power? You see the network of corruption. Anyhow you look, anyhow you turn. And Matt, I do not believe the police force in Dominica has the clarity of mind or the balance to investigate this and do anything about it, Matt. Matt, this is dead in the waters. So we have countless examples, Matt, of situations that wait to be investigated and bring clarity to the matter. And we see what happened to all of them, Matt. So I know we're not going to get anything out of that. There are too many people involved in this, people in high positions, and this is dead in the waters.
Well, let's wait and see. We have a few more minutes, and I know the brain will be back on Talk on the Block. It's not over. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt, what do you really call money, people getting those money? I believe that is what they call hush money, you know, Matt. Because all those monies are going to different people in the different ministries.
If it's hush money, then why would Mr. The commissioner be speaking out?
Well, Matt, maybe he's not getting enough. Matt, I believe some time ago you got some hush money, you know, from the Prime Minister.
For sure? So where's the money?
I've been spoken about it.
Where's the money?
You tell me, they hush you up.
I hear that all the time, Brain. Hello, talk to me.
Thanks for taking my call,
Yes,
Matt.
Yes.
That arrangement you made with them. When you came out,
you remember Charles Tav, when the president had shown he was the president and he had shown his wolf and his manhood when he held the country for 47 days to get some benefit. No. He must show his true worth as a man and do the noble thing.
But the request has to come from the Prime Minister, huh?
Hello, this Scotland Yard, they must be in Dominica, otherwise we have a failed situation in all of what is going on here. Scotland Yard, SOS, Scotland Yard.
It is a foreign concept.
All right, hello, talk to me, hello.
When it comes to these people.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Matthias Pelte.
You're back, yes, hello.
Nobody has
good morning to my friend, the
Brain. Everybody is noble.
Interesting times in Dominica. Interesting times.
One thing. That's one thing.
Let me tell you something. I've said this before, Matt. When you have a corrupt society, Matt, this is not just a question of, let us say, one little department that is infected with this corruption, you know, Matt, if you read a report that they had on the question of money laundering in Dominica, in the Caribbean, Matt, where they were talking about Dominica had implemented all this legislation, Matt, and all these systems to counteract money laundering. Matt, have you ever heard the Financial Intelligence Unit doing anything as regards from monitoring money laundering?
Hello?
Have you heard anything from the anti-money laundering something that they set up, Matt? Matt, none of these things will function, Matt. Matt, you don't understand. The Labour Commissioner wrote a report, Matt. We know, Matt, it is not new in Dominica that the conflict of interest happens in Dominica, Matt. Matt, they had a commission of inquiry into some incident at the National Bank, Matt. Matt, you know who was on the commission? The managing director and the deputy managing director, Matt, inquiring into matters that may well have involved conflict of interest, Matt. Matt, Dominica is going nowhere in terms of professionalism, in terms of integrity.
We have mediocrity, and a corrupt government that will not allow the institutions of democracy to survive, Matt. Those things are not there, Matt. And the longer we stay talking it locally, Matt, an introduction to a report says, in response to international criticism, the government implemented legislation, Matt. Matt, we stay locally talking. I said time and time again, Matt, we have to internationalize this endemic disease of corruption that is eating away at the moral fiber of our society, Matt.
All right, I'll tell you what. The brain, you'll be back sometime later.
Yes, Martha Espelti, but just to add the pieces quickly, we've noticed that 40,000 US had disappeared at a police station involving Haitians and Spanish.
Yes.
Then there was a raid. You remember that raid at the airport? Where again money belonging to Haitians and Spanish disappeared, you know. And now another third strike. Money may not be able to be accounted for. Let's get together, Matt, at around 1 o'clock and continue our discussion.
Yes.
Do have a good morning, Matt. I will join you here at exactly 1 o'clock this morning.
Just about 10 o'clock on the Calypso Hour, just before we get into Calypso Hour, there's some new information as it relates to the Dominica Cricket Association. I'm being told that Mr. Michael Astafan was thrown out of a radio station last night because he spoke too much. Let's talk about it about 10 o'clock. Michael Astafan, stick around. We'll tell you more.